Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Old beer. We love some old beer. Old beer from a brewery I haven't had in quite some time and have no idea how this is going to land. Gifted beer. We have a lot of different angles coming into this. Clown Shoes. It has been a minute since I've done the Clown Shoes beers, but lo and behold, Steven, aka The Resource. That's what other people call him. Beer Tube Palooza. He always drops beers on all of us. This is one of the ones he dropped on me. This is a 2017 Crasher in the Rye. I don't think I've ever reviewed this from Clown Shoes. Clown Shoes is kind of more like one of the old school barrel aged jams. Like they were doing a lot of barrel aged stuff for a very decent amount of time, and it seems like I don't know what happened to them. Wait, did somebody tell me? I think somebody at Beer Tube Palooza told me that like what's that brewery called? It's a New England brewery. Bought them. Anyway, if I think of it, I'll bring it up. Bought them, but I don't see anything from them. For Steven to drop this on me, I'm absolutely tickled pink because we love old beer. Let's see where this sucker goes. Not much of a Merc ring on it. What is this beer? This being, like I said, the Crasher in the Rye. It's an Imperial Oatmeal Milk Stout aged in rye barrels. It comes in at 11.5%. It says, what better smell is there than chupacabras defeated burning in a field of rye? Perhaps the complex aromatics of Crasher in a Rye. For 2017, we brewed the base beer, Undead Party Crasher, which I have reviewed. I know. Well, my brain sucks, but I've had that beer a bunch of time. And we replaced the smoked malt with rye malt to complement the roasted chocolate core of the brew. Then we aged the beer 100% in rye barrels to create a new version of Crasher in the Rye. Label-wise, I have always hated Clown Shoes labels. They come off as amateur comic book art, and honestly, just the name Clown Shoes for a brewery. It's probably the second worst name for a brewery outside of Who Farted. Yeah. Ooh. That was a nice hiss. But their beers didn't suck, so I'm willing to say that. Not gonna lie, that looks pretty sexy. A little sexy Rexy. For those that want a Empire Records reference in their beer reviews. I love when the corks going easy. There's something weird about saying that. Anyway, honestly, you're talking about a 7-year-old beer. You kind of want it to look like this, especially you're talking about a barrel-aged beer. It has a head on it. Again, it's not a gigantic head, but you're talking about a 7-year-old barrel-aged beer. I give this a whirl. Watch this. That sucker just comes right back. We're talking about decent carbonation on this. I'm pretty excited. Also, looks like motor oil. Sure, lactose milk stout, 7 years. Could go a little bit meh, but I'm excited. So, Imperial Milk Stout, rye barrel. Let's see what the nose has to offer. It smells awesome. Very, very awesome. I don't really get much of any kind of oxidation on it. The spirit portion of the show here is kind of melded in this kind of rich chocolate cordial. I don't know if it's just like a cherry cordial kind of thing or a raspberry cordial or something like that, but it's like this grandma candy kind of cordial milk chocolate, but not straight on full on milk chocolate. It's like a semi-sweet milk chocolate kind of cordial kind of vibe to it. Like I said, beautiful nose on it. You're getting that spirit, but nothing too boozy. You're getting vanilla. You're getting chocolate. You're getting this nice kind of soft, like tiny bit of coconut on there. And you're getting the beer too. Roasted malts, nothing too crazy. And it has this softness to it that you really appreciate when it comes to like a nice kind of oatmeal kind of milk stout. Got a vibe to it. Yeah. That smells really good. But yeah. Again, you give this to me blind, you strip the label off this. I would hope I would go barrel-aged Imperial Stout. I don't know if I'd go milk stout on this, just because I think that milk, the lactose, and the vanilla of the barrel is kind of melded at this point. But I think I'd guess it'd have a little bit of age on it, just because of its roundedness. Because it smells like a high ABV beer, but there's no heat to it. But there's not like an appreciable amount of oxidation going on either. So I'm really excited to actually give this a whirl, because the nose is kind of really, really nice. So we're just going to dive in. Cheers, y'all. That's tasty. That's tasty. We're not dealing with like next level, otherworldly, rewriting a book on an aged beer kind of stuff. But man, I actually think maybe it's a little past its prime. But it's not super far past its prime. Because there's an aggressiveness to this. And I think it's actually the rye spirit that's given this spicy aggressiveness to it that almost certainly is tempered over time. I think that if this is hyper fresh, I think it's a little bit too overpowering on the spirit side of things and just needs this time to kind of settle in there. The beer itself is nice. It's got a full mouthfeel, nothing super dense. It doesn't drink like the motor oil it looks like, but it's definitely not on the thin side of things. You do get a soft little vanilla here. Again, I'm splitting hairs here. Is it coming from a lactose addition? Is it coming from an oatmeal addition? Is it coming from the barrel? Probably all bits and pieces are kind of combining together for that soft vanilla. Probably quite a bit more prominent when it was fresher, but I'm okay where it's kind of settled in. Carbonation is very, very nice for a beer like this. Mouthfeel's very, very nice for a beer like this, especially with the time on it. Honestly, it has this weird, two things. It has this weird kind of, and I know this is going to sound disgusting, but I assure you, it's not as disgusting as it sounds. Milk stout, milk/oatmeal stouts, when they have a ton of age on them, have this kind of slightly curdled kind of thing to them that I tend to get. It's not curdled. It's not soured. It's not whatever, but there's this tinge of it in there. This has it, so again, it's not a negative for me, but I gotta mention it. And honestly, to me, it's a personal preference. I think rye is just a wrong spirit for this. I think straight bourbon. I think even if you went with like a non-Islay, non-peated Scotch, again, I think the spiciness of the rye here just kind of, it just acts a little too harsh and aggressive for something. Oatmeal milk. You tend to think of this silken softness. And I think that rye kind of just adds a little bit of kind of jerk out of reality. That I'm really curious, infinitely curious as to what that was like when it was hyper fresh. But it's still a fun beer. Especially for being 7 years old, man. You know me, how much I love aged beer. And just having something like this held up this well, regardless of my personal preferences, is just tickles me pink. And I know Steven found this bottle shop that was like blowing out old stuff for like pennies on the dollar, and I'm sure that's where he got this from. And Steven, thank you very much for letting me give this sucker a rip, because honestly, this is a very fun beer and something that, honestly, if I saw another one of these on the shelf at a discounted price especially, I'd pick it up. Just out of pure curiosity and just being a tasty, fun beer to share with somebody. Like, it'd be like, okay, break this out when somebody's around. We want to have a 7-year-old beer that's kind of good. Here, let's have at it. Or just see how it's changed. You don't know, from bottle to bottle. Others could have held up better than others, or some could have held up amazingly well. Others just went totally garbage. This one was quite fun, and I'm glad I got to try it. So yeah, Clown Shoes. This beer is one of the better rye barrel aged imperial oatmeal milk stouts that I've had. It's one of the better old barrel aged beers I've had as late. It's in the conversation. It's not Mount Rushmore stats, but a very cool experience. Value and availability. 7-year-old beer, and leave you with, if you like, what will you like this? If you like old beer and you like trying experiences, you will like this. If you like barrel aged beer and I pour this for you, I don't think you're like, ugh. I think you're like, this is interesting, it's fun. I don't think you go crazy for it, but so if you like barrel aged beer and aged beer and having fun with beer, you'll dig this. Clown Shoes. Are they still a brewery? Have you been to their brewery? Do they still exist? Magic Hat. I think somebody told me Magic Hat bought them. I think that's what I started eventually, Matt. I could be wrong, but do they still exist? Have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? Did he still make beer? I don't know. Let's talk about it. I don't know. Have you had this beer fresh? Have you had it fresh? Have you had it old? Have you had it recently? All that fun stuff down there. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of old beer right now. We'll see you next time. Cheers.